have Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, who's a natural light heavyweight? Crawford, who couldn't push back Madrimov? Life and death with Madrimov. What do you think Canelo's gonna do to him? Run him out of the ring!
Oscar De La Hoya's sudden change of opinion has created plenty of discussion just months before one of boxing's biggest fights in recent history.
Canelo, and he fights at 168 plus, so I don't see me and him fighting. So,
what's the highest you could fight at realistically?
I would say 154 realistically.
154.
You know,
So
them boys get big up there. Them boys get big up there. And I'm not a person to, toot my own horn.
De La Hoya revealed that although he previously predicted Terence Crawford to defeat Canelo Alvarez, he now believes that result is almost impossible. Crawford, however, strongly disagreed with De La Hoya's prediction and remains confident that he will beat Canelo without much trouble.
The main cards, it will be 4 fights. And we will have Canelo Crawford and the co-main event and 2 fights. One of them is Gerald and Miller, if we finish it. Then there is another card, start earlier, for free for everywhere. We are thinking to put around from 6 to 10 fights for talent.
De La Hoya originally backed Terence Crawford with complete confidence, saying Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez at any point. He even argued that Crawford should not be viewed as a smaller fighter simply moving up in weight, but as a naturally strong athlete who could comfortably compete at 168 pounds if he chose to. That opinion highlighted Crawford's ability to adjust, his physical strength, and his high-level boxing intelligence. De La Hoya was essentially rejecting the idea that size alone would decide the fight, because in his view, Crawford was not really a small fighter. But now De La Hoya has completely changed his position. He believes the matchup heavily favors Canelo and has gone as far as suggesting that Crawford poses very little danger, making the fight seem almost one-sided.
All about making history. I was the first 2-time undisputed champion of the world. I'm not gonna show you. First 3-time undisputed champion.
Terence Crawford wasn't going to let De La Hoya's sudden change of opinion slide. In a calm but direct response, Crawford questioned the inconsistency, pointing out how De La Hoya keeps changing his stance on Canelo. The September 13th fight is about far more than big names and championship belts because the winner could make history. If Crawford defeats Canelo and becomes an undisputed champion in a 3rd weight class, he would become the first man in boxing history to accomplish that feat. Even legends like Sugar Ray Leonard, Roy Jones Jr., and Floyd Mayweather never achieved it. Crawford has already built an impressive legacy, but beating Canelo would take his career to another level and place him among a very small group of all-time greats. Still, despite his success across multiple weight classes and his elite technical skills, plenty of people remain unsure about whether he can overcome Canelo.
Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo. Or you really think that he's gonna knock out Crawford? I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight.
Eddie Hearn highlighted the same concerns surrounding Crawford's resume. While Hearn recognizes Crawford as an elite fighter, he believes Bud never got enough opportunities to face other top stars while they were still in their prime. Hearn's point wasn't meant as an insult, but rather a reflection of how boxing failed to give Crawford enough major opponents during the best years of their careers. He argued that some of Crawford's notable wins, including Ricky Burns, don't carry the same weight as the elite names on Canelo Alvarez's resume. Crawford's dominant victories over Kell Brook, Amir Khan, and Errol Spence Jr. are impressive, but each fight also came with questions. Brook and Khan were widely viewed as being past their best by the time they faced Crawford. While Spence entered their matchup after a serious car accident and a long period away from the ring, adding another layer of uncertainty to the result.
I say before, he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
So Poster wasn't elite?
Who?
On the other side, Canelo Alvarez has built a resume filled with major names and championship-level opponents. His career includes fights against Floyd Mayweather, Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, Miguel Cotto, Caleb Plant, and many other top fighters. He has moved through different weight classes, chased titles, and consistently tested himself against elite competition. Some of those victories, including the Golovkin and Kovalev fights, came with questions surrounding age, timing, or controversy, but Canelo has still spent years competing at the highest level. That experience is a major reason people like De La Hoya and Hearn, despite their previous disagreements with Canelo, believe he has the advantage. Canelo's edge isn't only his size. He has also been through more high-pressure fights against some of the best names in boxing.
Think this fight does more for your career than fighting David Benavidez?
You can see the career of Terence Crawford or Benavidez. Terence Crawford is undisputed champion in 2 weight classes, many championship fights. So he bring me something to the table.
For many boxing fans, Crawford's skill set is the biggest reason to believe he can overcome the size difference. His footwork, control of the ring, ability to switch between stances, and incredible timing make him one of the sport's most dangerous fighters. His performance against Errol Spence Jr. showed just how effective those skills can be, as Crawford didn't simply win. He completely dominated a world-class opponent with sharp accuracy, patience, and excellent composure. Moving up to 168 pounds will obviously bring a major challenge, especially against Canelo's power, but some believe Crawford's style could reduce the impact of the size gap. Crawford rarely takes unnecessary punishment, stays efficient, and doesn't waste much energy. If he can withstand Canelo's best punches, his superior technique, timing, and ring intelligence could give him a major advantage as the fight progresses.
Cool.
Is there a champion?
I'm going to fight another elite
There is
fighter
a champions,
in September.
good fighters, but elite fighters is different. Wait.
So I'm going to fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah, okay.
Then we're
We're going to find out.
Then we're going
We're
to
gonna
find out. Then we're gonna
And
find
don't
out.
get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great
You ain't
fighter,
gotta
but
tell
are
me
you
I'm
gonna
great.
find out? I hope
But
your
I'm talking
uncle,
about
your
elite.
uncle Turki Alashi pay you enough money because it's gonna be the last. That's
It
for
may
sure.
be. It may be. Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But you know, after fighters fight me, they never the same.
Oscar De La Hoya's sudden change of position has also raised questions about what may be behind it. Some fans wonder if his new support for Canelo is connected to promotional interests or simply a different view of the risks involved in the matchup. De La Hoya and Canelo have had a complicated relationship, going from working together to becoming public rivals after Canelo left Golden Boy Promotions. Their split was highly publicized and far from friendly. However, boxing's power structure has been changing quickly with the rise of major Saudi-backed events, and those old rivalries may be losing some of their importance. Saudi advisor Turki Alalshik has become a major force behind many of boxing's biggest events, bringing fighters and promoters from different sides together for huge cards and potentially creating new business relationships along the way.
Everything is on Terence Crawford's side, all the legacy, meaning he only has the opportunity to win the belts. Saul only has an opportunity to defend them. Terence Crawford has an opportunity to be in a 5 division and the only person to win all 4 belts in 3 separate weight divisions. Why is Saul taking this fight? And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's some things in life more important than just the belts. And that 20-year career that Terence Crawford made, that all that he has, is very valuable. Very, very valuable. He had 1 foot out the...
Turki Alalshik's involvement in putting together the Canelo-Crawford fight has been significant. Reports say he met with Crawford before the fight was officially announced, and Crawford told him that this could potentially be the final fight of his career. The idea of an undefeated champion possibly retiring after such a massive matchup adds another layer of emotion and importance to the event. Crawford reportedly did not ask for a rematch clause, while it remains unclear whether Canelo's team requested one. That uncertainty makes the fight feel even more like a defining moment for Crawford. A victory would complete one of the most impressive chapters of his career, while a loss could leave a very different ending to his story. Fighters rarely get the chance to choose exactly how they leave the sport, but Crawford appears to be considering that option seriously. If he can defeat Canelo, make history, and walk away undefeated, It would be a remarkable ending to a career that has often faced questions about matchmaking and boxing politics.
You need to put a small ring, the smaller ring in the...
Hey, Matt. Yeah. The only running that I'm gonna be doing is running upside his head, and I can assure you that. Facts. And he got a big head too.
Fight also comes with an interesting financial incentive that could affect how both men approach the action. Turki Alalshik has revealed that knockout bonuses will be offered, not only for this matchup, but for other major fights in the future. The concept is similar to incentives used in MMA and gaming, where fighters are rewarded for exciting finishes, and now boxing is starting to adopt the same idea. The timing is especially notable after Canelo's lackluster win over William Skull, which many fans considered slow and disappointing. A knockout bonus could encourage fighters to take more risks and turn tactical battles into more aggressive, high-stakes fights. That could benefit Crawford, who combines technical skill with an impressive ability to stop opponents when the opportunity appears. Canelo, meanwhile, has always been known for his power and durability, so the bonus could encourage him to come forward early and test whether Crawford can handle his punches at 168 pounds.
Disappointment if this did normal boxing numbers, you know, and let's be real, you know what Jake Paul is gonna say. He already shitted on this fight. Don't let the numbers not come anywhere close to his numbers with Tyson, and it's gonna be all bad. Would it even matter if Bud and Canelo didn't do the numbers of Jake and Tyson? Or is that an indictment on the sport that, it's just showing what our fan base prefers?
Carl Froch, known for speaking his mind, shared his thoughts on the Canelo versus Crawford matchup during an interview with Foot Italia, and his opinion stands out as some analysts have started leaning more toward Canelo. Froch believes Crawford's size may be getting overlooked, arguing that he is naturally bigger than many people assume, and could comfortably add muscle as he moves up in weight. He sees Crawford growing into the 168-pound division without losing the skills that make him dangerous. Rather than focusing heavily on the challenge of moving up 3 weight classes, Froch sees the jump as a chance for Crawford to prove how adaptable and complete he really is. In his view, Crawford has the ability to adjust physically while keeping the same speed, technique, and intelligence that have made him successful throughout his career.
Others say, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down. So I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go in.
Froch continued by focusing on Crawford's biggest strengths, including his skill, ability to adjust, and strong mentality inside the ring. He believes Crawford has the talent and tools to give any opponent serious problems, which is why he said he would likely pick Crawford to defeat Canelo. That prediction carries extra weight coming from Froch, who shared the ring with elite fighters such as Andre Ward, Mikkel Kessler, and George Groves. His view isn't simply based on hype. Froch believes Canelo may no longer be at his absolute best and could struggle against a fighter as versatile and intelligent as Crawford. For Froch, Crawford's combination of technique, adaptability, and confidence makes him capable of beating Canelo despite the significant jump in weight.
He hopes you don't run. And Turkey has a knockout bonus in this fight. And there seems to be something out there like the way for you to win this fight is to move. Is that true?
Listen.
Turkey, you need to put a small ring, the smaller ring in the...
Froch was also very clear about why he favors Crawford. He believes Canelo's recent performances show signs that the Mexican star may be past his absolute peak, especially after his latest fight. Froch questioned Canelo's sharpness and motivation, suggesting that Canelo looked less interested in taking risks when facing an opponent who was mainly moving and avoiding exchanges. In Froch's view, if Canelo is comfortably ahead on the S,
I'm going with Terence Crawford. Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Interview 3. Later in the same interview, Froch reinforced his belief that Canelo is no longer at his peak. He pointed out that Canelo has already had more than 60 professional fights, earned a huge amount of money, and achieved major accomplishments throughout his career, raising the question of what is still driving him to compete. However, Froch believes the Crawford matchup is different because it carries real danger for Canelo. In his view, Canelo may have less reason to take unnecessary risks now that his legacy and financial success are already established, and that lack of urgency could become a major factor if Crawford forces him into a difficult fight.
And here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand what Terence Crawford's, what a big part of his number one asset is. Do you know he has a 74-inch reach? Floyd Mayweather has a 73-inch reach.
Wow.
Okay? They're able to reach their opponents much easier than other fighters. Their arms are extremely long. This is why Terence Crawford, in my opinion, is
Froch believes Canelo could lose this fight, but he also pointed out that either result could surprise people because so many fans and analysts are already backing Crawford. He praised Crawford as an exceptional fighter with a tough mentality, strong skills, and the ability to make life difficult for anyone in the ring. At the same time, Froch made sure to give Canelo the respect he deserves, describing him as a true student of boxing who has faced a huge number of elite opponents throughout his career. Canelo's experience, understanding of the sport, and ability to adjust inside the ring are major strengths. And Froch recognizes that he has already shared the ring with many of the best fighters of his generation.
Go back and forwards, to be honest with you. Like, when I talk to Bud, I kind of he convinces me that he's going to win the fight because he's such a believer in his own ability and he's very convincing. And then you see the presser yesterday, and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's a big lump, so I was always Canelo, then I sort of leant towards Bud, but now I'm back with Canelo. So.
Teddy Atlas shared a similar view during his YouTube show, offering strong praise for Crawford while still recognizing Canelo's accomplishments. Atlas described Canelo as an excellent fighter with an impressive resume and a strong presence in the ring, but he believes Crawford possesses something truly rare. He admitted that Crawford has faced criticism for not having the same depth of big names on his resume, but Atlas argued that greatness cannot always be measured by opponents alone. In his opinion, Crawford has that special quality that separates exceptional fighters from the rest. And he believes that natural ability, confidence, and mindset could be just as important as the names on a fighter's record.
The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't.
Atlas also questioned whether Canelo might be viewed as more unbeatable than he really is. He made it clear that Canelo is an outstanding fighter, but wondered if some people may rate him a little too highly. In Atlas's view, Crawford's biggest strengths go beyond physical ability. He believes Crawford's determination, mindset, background, and inner drive are what truly make him special. The biggest question is whether Crawford can carry those qualities with him as he moves up in weight. Atlas isn't dismissing Canelo's skills or experience. Instead, he is warning that Crawford's mental toughness and desire could play a major role in a fight where size and power are expected to be major factors.
I don't have to have enough power to hurt him. I just got to beat him. That's it. If he slip up, then, he will get hurt.
Time to go to work.
Sergio Mora offered another perspective on the Canelo-Crawford matchup, arguing that the usual boxing rule about a great big fighter beating a great smaller fighter may not fully apply here. Mora explained that he once strongly believed size would always give the bigger man the advantage, but Canelo's recent performance made him rethink that idea. He pointed out that Canelo struggled to cut off the ring against an opponent who was constantly moving, raising questions about his current speed and sharpness. For Mora, the bigger issue isn't simply weight or size, but how much Canelo has left after such a long career. With more than 65 professional fights and a career that began when he was only 15, Mora believes the accumulated wear, injuries, and years of competition could be catching up with him. In his view, a fighter can sometimes lose that extra step very quickly, and that could become important against Crawford.
Cause what all these streamers and these other YouTube guys, they didn't turn boxing into it's like a comedian show. It's just putting anybody in the ring. So Crawford and Canelo, good thing that fight is coming, because it's kind of put some kind of legitimacy back to boxing. Would you ever think a few years ago you would say?
Interestingly, Mora highlighted a factor that often gets overlooked when comparing the two fighters: overall mileage. Although Crawford is older than Canelo, Mora believes Crawford may actually be the fresher fighter because he has taken less wear and tear throughout his career. He also pointed out that Crawford has been adding size in a smart and controlled way rather than simply putting on extra weight. According to Mora, Crawford looks noticeably bigger, particularly in terms of his height and shoulder frame, and he believes the transformation is being done properly. The idea is that Crawford isn't simply moving up in weight for this fight. He is physically preparing his body to compete at the higher level and handle the challenge Canelo presents. As for his prediction, Sergio Mora expects the fight to go the distance, with Canelo ultimately winning a decision. He believes Crawford will make the fight difficult, land enough clean shots to cause damage, and leave Canelo looking bruised and worn down, but still sees Canelo doing enough to earn the judge's decision. That means Mora gives Crawford plenty of credit without going as far as predicting an upset. Andre Ward, however, has taken the opposite side. Now that the fight is official, Ward has made it clear that he is backing Crawford. He understands the danger of moving up several weight classes, but he believes Crawford's biggest advantages are his mindset, ability to adjust, and problem-solving skills. Ward's main question is whether Canelo can actually break Crawford mentally or stop him from figuring out the fight. And until someone proves they can do that, Ward is sticking with Crawford. Interview 20? Ward didn't hold back on his prediction. He made it clear that his support for Crawford isn't meant as disrespect toward Canelo, but he simply refuses to bet against Crawford right now. In Ward's view, anyone who wants to pick against Crawford first has to prove they can actually beat him. This matchup, according to Ward, isn't about who has the longer resume, who has competed at higher weights, or who has faced more big-name opponents. The real question is whether Canelo can figure out Crawford's style, solve his adjustments, and find a way to break his confidence inside the ring.